Good day, everyone. I am Rosani Namokosibongka, DS Urimatsu from Section C. So, we are assigned of Unit 5. So, my assigned topic is Instructional Learning Process. So, first, lesson planning. So, all teachers require a lesson plan that is thoughtfully prepared regardless of their ability, experience, or what their field of training involves. It also emphasizes the need for clarity and comprehension regarding how the entire learning process will be handled, as well as how students can understand and store the knowledge that is being passed on to them. A lesson plan serves as a guide that a teacher uses every day to determine what the students will learn, how the lesson will be taught, as well as how learning will be evaluated. Lesson plans enable teachers to function more effectively in the classroom by giving a detailed outline that they adhere to during each class. This helps to make sure that every moment spent in class is used to teach meaningful concepts and have worthwhile discussion rather than figuring out what you are supposed to do as time goes on. So as know, we are all familiar of what is lesson plan because we are in high school. We already know what is lesson plan because we always heard this from our teachers. So next, what is the importance of lesson planning? So, lesson planning is very important because it helps teachers to make sure that the everyday activities that go on their classrooms are providing learners with a good level of lasting progress towards what they want to achieve outlined in their sequence, as well as their individual education plans. Without lesson planning, it is easy to get off track within class and miss out on educational targets. And also, it can give teachers a greater confidence, self-reliance, and handling a lesson. So, very important kaayo ang lesson plan for us as a future teacher, or in our teachers, very important ang lesson plan. So, next, what are the examples of lesson planning? So, a lesson plan provides you with a general outline of your teaching goals, learning objectives, and means to accomplish them, and is by no means exhaustive. A productive lesson is not one in which everything goes exactly as planned, but one in which both students and instructor learn from each other. So, I have here an example of lesson plan. As you can see, this is the one example of lesson plan. So, next, there are 5 parts of lesson plan that we need to know. So, a good lesson plan should include the following 5 components. First, class objectives. Second, procedure. Third, time management. And the last is student practice. So now, what is the process of lesson planning? So, a successful lesson plan addresses and integrates 3 key components. First, learning objectives. Second, learning activities. Third, assessment to check for student understanding. So, what is the lesson plan and its characteristic? So, this is the very important to know as what is the characteristic of lesson plan. So, a lesson plan is a teacher's detailed description of the course of instruction or learning trajectory for lesson. So, as we know, this is so very important that a lesson plan is a detail of a description of the course of instruction. So, there are 5 main characteristics of an effective lesson plan. So, there are 5 effective lesson plans. So, build upon students' prior knowledge. When planning for lessons, most of us focus tremendous effort on the content we will teach. Second, allows for more flexibility. Third, clarifies translations. Fourth, allot times for students' involvement. The last, prompt teachers to reflect. So, there are 4 parts of lesson planning. So, first, pre-planning. So, pre-planning starts the discussion about the public health and need being considered and is an integral part of achieving and desired outcomes. At the end of the stage, you will know if you will be proceeding with subsequent plan stages and will determine the necessary tasks to complete your program planning. So, pre-planning is a very I hope you understand what is pre-planning. So, next is lesson planning. We discussed this first. So, lesson planning is the activity which the teachers performs before the actual lesson takes place. A lesson plan is a detailed description of the instructional strategies and learning activities to be performed during teaching and learning process. So, as we know, lesson planning is the teachers, muna siya katong galamiton sa mga teachers, very important. So next, implementations. The execution or practice of plan, a method or any design, idea, model, specification, standard, or policy for doing something. As such, implementation is the action that must follow any preliminary thinking for something to actually happen. So, what is example of implementation? To implement is defined as to put something into effect. An example of implement is a manager enforcing a new set of procedures, a tool or instrument for working them. Working with. They carried an assortment of gardening implements in the truck. So, next, the last one is evaluation. So, it's a process that critically examines a program. It involves collecting and analyzing information about a program's activities, characteristics, and outcomes. Its purpose is to make judgment about a program to improve its effectiveness and or to inform programming decision. So, evaluation, this is the part that we're going to collect and analyze information about the programs, activities, characteristics, and outcomes. So, what is example of evaluation? An example of evaluate is when a teacher reviews a paper in order to give it a grade or a mark, to find the numerical value of expressed in numbers to determine the importance, effectiveness, or worth of assess. So that's all, and thank you.